Good evening, parents. My name is Victor Lowe, and I have the great privilege of teaching your children in the realm of mathematics and geography this year in 7th grade. Let's go over the menu for today. We're going to go through who, where, how, when, why, and finally what. Starting with the who. Well, it's me. I am the proud father of Isaac and Ian Lowe, and I am thankful that my wife, Mina Lowe, married me. A little bit about me. I was born in Hinsdale and I was raised in Lyle, and I lived all over the world. I went to high school in Beijing, China. Just to let you know, I'm educated. There's some facts for you over there. And this is my 16th year at Scullin Middle School. I've taught all the grade levels at Scullin as well. This is a great way for you to get to know me. Back in the days, it was the teachers and the parents that were against the students. And these days, it really seems like it's the teachers versus the students and the parents. But the problem is, both illustrations are not good. We really need to establish a healthy amount of communication, especially during this COVID time. Communication is key to success, and we need to get the best out of our children. I am one of the teachers on Team 7-0, but I also teach off-team kids on 7-1 and 7-2 in PA Math or Algebra 1. I will be going over Algebra 1 first, then 7th grade Common Core Math, followed by Geography. That will be at the end in the what section, so feel free to skip around. Now for the where. This is my sweet setup in the basement. I encourage all the kids to have their supplies close by so that they can use it in the class at any time. Let's go take a look at some workspaces upstairs. Let's mosey our way upstairs. I have a 5th grader named Ian Lowe who is remote learning upstairs. And just a few doors down, my 7th grade son Isaac Lowe is busy at work with his remote learning as well. Apart from finding a private place where my kids can learn, we also decided to purchase blue light glasses. Both my boys complained of eye fatigue as well as headaches after the first few days of remote learning, but these proved to help a lot. Another neat purchase that my wife and I made was a seat cushion. Since our kids are sitting for long durations of time, we want to make sure they are comfortable. Sometimes you get lucky with a sweet gaming chair. One of the most important things is to make sure that your children stay off screens as much as possible. Make sure your kids are taking the breaks when they're given. You just saw the physical classroom, but we want to look at the virtual classroom as well. You see, a learning management system is pivotal for this year's success, and Google Classroom is our primary way to be able to handle all assignments as well as communication. As a parent, you should be receiving Google Classroom summaries at the end of the day via email about what we've been doing throughout the day. It is imperative that students log onto Google Classroom to check out what's on the agenda and the various attachments and materials that have been shared throughout the class period. This is also a great way for students to get in touch with each other, as they can post questions under the comment sections and answer them. We definitely want the kids to be a community online. Alright, let's talk about the how now. Every child deserves the opportunity to struggle. Love this quote. If this is what remote learning looks like at home, something's wrong. We need to understand that learning is messy. It is not always so clear-cut and dry. Struggling does not mean needless frustration or extreme levels of challenge. It means that students need to expend some effort to make sense of mathematics or any problems they have. To build grit, you need to let your students figure out answers. Give them a chance to come up with something. I will take it from there. It's important to understand how to get their grades. We've been taking some time to go over what weighted grades means. 10% of their grades will come from participation. That will include activities from IXL Math, Zoom classes, and daily things that are going to be posted on Google Classroom. Note-taking will also be considered. 40% of their grade will come from Math Excel for School if you're an algebra student, or digits if you are a regular math student, and in geography, daily assignments that are given. Homework slides on Google Classroom is another place that you can get homework. That could also include worksheets. And finally, 50% is assessments. All tests and quizzes will be graded out of 100 points. So in this category, whatever the percent is your score. For the Synergy student view or parent view, you're going to notice 3 codes that we are using now. Z will indicate that the student did not complete the item, which means it is missing and they got a score of 0. Or TI means it was turned in but just hasn't been graded yet. And EX represents that the assignment was excused. It's important to understand that late work will not be penalized. However, we really do need to stress the importance to be turning things in a timely manner. So work with me here. Digital homework on Math Excel for School and Digits do not connect directly to Synergy. If the students are turning in assignments late, it is so important for them to email me a screenshot of their score so that I can update it. Research shows extremely high percentages of businesses that are unhappy with college graduates' lack of collaboration skills. Translation: they don't work together well. However, the digital platform is a fantastic way where students can contribute to each other's learning. Students can post questions online, and they can be able to provide answers to those that are confused. Let's go to when. Feel free to pause and take a look at the schedule, but you've been getting this information for quite some time. Mondays are different from Tuesday through Friday. Then we have a block schedule where Tuesdays and Thursdays match up, and then Wednesday and Friday match. I don't want your students to miss out on the fact that my Period 7 are office hours, where I can help individuals sort out different things as well as check on their grades and re-explain concepts. Second to last is why. It is so important for the students to understand why they are learning the content that I'm teaching. This is why, pun intended, I take the time during the beginning of the year to teach them various things. We are constantly trying to teach the attributes from the portrait of a graduate. We believe that these are adjectives that businesses and corporations are looking for when they are looking for new hirees. I love this clip. If you haven't seen this before, Michael Jr. is a comedian that had asked this guy to sing a song, and he was brave enough to sing out loud for everyone to hear.
How do I know? A lot of people, when they think of the phrase, how do I know, they always want to put the what behind it. How do I know what I'm supposed to do? The question that you really should ask is, how do I know why I'm here? Because when you know your why, your what becomes more clear and more impactful. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Alright, so that's pretty good. So he stops him and then asks him to sing it again. He gives him a different context and he tells him to sing it as if he was stuck in a hard place and he was crying out for help.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
I don't know about you, but that was amazing. When he gave him context, he understood why he was singing, and therefore he was able to make an amazing rendition of that song. So that's why I'm taking so much time establishing the why through our introduction unit on fear, the future, patience, and hope. I know some people are thinking, wow, they haven't had much homework. Don't worry, that's coming. Now the what. In Algebra 1, we're going to have 2 semesters that are going to be devoted to the various topics that are outlined here. There's a rough timeline that is shown below if you want to go over that. I also provided the book that we'll be using with the ISBN number and the calculators that we'll be using throughout the coursework. Here's another look at the units. I want to point out that this is the first time that they will be taking what we call the high school final. This high school final will constitute for 20% of the quarter grade. It will go over all the concepts that we have learned up to that point. Don't worry, there will be a study guide. Next, let's take a look at 7th grade Common Core Math. In this particular course, we have 6 units. The first unit will take up quite a bit of time, followed by our Unit 2, which is on expressions and equations. That will move us along to ratios and proportions and get us into geometry, statistics, and probability. In 7th grade Geography, we have 4 core questions. These compelling questions include, does culture matter? Are human rights universal? And is equal always fair? And are boundaries necessary? And is the world ready and willing to make sacrifices to promote human progress? Now, it's a little bit different than what we grew up with, where we go all over the world, section by section, country by country, and we study various cultures. This time around, the students get to choose their journey. This is a very organic process where we will be guided by the students' discussions and current events, and that will allow us to have context and allow us the why of what we're learning. And that's a wrap. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I'm glad that you got to know a little bit about me and my philosophy as well as what we're going to go over this year. And finally, Go Sharks.